Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. We welcome our friends in South Africa, the United States, and around the world to this week's edition of A Conversation with El-Hajj Mauri Saalakhan. I'm pleased to be your host, coming to you once again through the Salam Media Network out of Johannesburg, South Africa. Salam Media is an online portal for humanitarian journalism. We don't just report the news. We advise you on what you can do about it. Our topic for today is titled The Ongoing Challenge for Police Reform in America. I want to begin today's broadcast with a short but meaningful walk down memory lane. Trayvon Martin, who was just 17 years old at the time, was murdered on February 26, 2012 in Sanford, Florida by 28-year-old wannabe cop George Zimmerman. The Black Lives Matter movement of our era was sparked in July of 2013 by the acquittal of Zimmerman. Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi created the hashtag Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter evolved from social media discourse to street-level activism following the 2014 police killing of Eric Garner in New York City and Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. The movement's protests centered around the devaluation of Black lives and the long-standing need for police accountability. The next tragedy to draw national and even international attention was the May 25th, 2020 murder of George Floyd by police officers the police officer Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, this homicide ignited millions of people throughout the United States to take to the streets in public protests. Chauvin was successfully prosecuted and is currently in state prison, if I'm not mistaken, because the federal government weighed in as well, and they brought a civil rights violations case against him that he was also convicted for. So to my knowledge, he is still in state custody, but I am not absolutely sure. I'm hoping that he is, because if he isn't, there's a very real possibility that he can receive another one of those pardons from you know who. Then we have the case of Sonia Massey, the cop who killed Sonia in her home, after she called the police on July 6, 2024, concerning a suspected prowler. She feared that there was a prowler, and she called the police. And one of the police officers that arrived, one by the name of Sean Grayson, he shot her. He shot and killed her in her home. And he was sentenced to 20 years just a short time ago. But according to the reports I read, he is expected to do just 10 of those 20 years. Against the backdrop of these few cases, and there are many others, but our time is limited, we have the oppressive militarized policing taking place today on the streets of our cities, in the name of immigration control and public safety, with the state of Minnesota presently serving as the epicenter. Now, this brings us to today's guests. On August 23rd, 2020, Jacob Blake Jr., who was just 29 years of age at the time, was shot in the back 7 times by Kenosha, Wisconsin police officer Rustin Sheskey. Jacob was paralyzed from the waist down as a result of that assault. Unfortunately, the cop who shot Jacob Blake Jr. 7 times in the back, crippling this young brother for life, was never prosecuted. Jacob's father, Jacob Blake Sr., and uncle, Justin Blake, are my guests for today's conversation. Our topic, again for discussion, will be the ongoing challenge for police reform in America. But before we bring them on for uninterrupted conversation, I want it to be uninterrupted, we will go to our first commercial break, inshallah. Let's go to the commercial, Brother Sadiq.
When Allah calls, a journey begins. Join us for the Hajj 2026 Nusuk Packages Open Day, designed especially for South African Hujjaj. Meet our special guest, Engineer Ahmed Zaki, Director General of Direct Hajj, Rawaf Mina, joining us all the way from Mecca to guide you through the Nusuk processes, available Hajj packages, and provide one-on-one assistance. Sandton, 17th January, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Cape Town, Durban and Lenasia, 18th January, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Secure your place on the sacred journey today. Call 010-600-5786. Plus, one lucky attendee will win an Umrah ticket. T's and C's apply. From the heart of Mecca to the world. Your Hajj journey starts here.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Gaza needs your support more than ever. Homes have been shattered and families have lost everything. With your support, our teams are delivering clean water tankers, feeding the hungry, and assisting orphans who have no one left. Let us give Gaza whatever help we can. African Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, our topic for today is the ongoing challenge for police reform in America, and our guests are Jacob and Justin Blake. Let's welcome them to today's conversation.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my brothers.
Salam alaikum, brother. Salam
Big
Walaikum.
up
alaikum.
to the sisters in Joburg and Cape Town.
Let's begin with with the obvious question of concern. How is Jacob Jr. doing these days?
Well, he is in excruciating pain during the day and night, which was something that he had to deal with after his last round of surgeries. But his spirit is good. He's just paralyzed. It's something that the realization that he has to deal with that is something that he must deal with, mashallah.
Yeah, yeah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fortify him and his caregivers.
Inshallah.
Yes, indeed. It's, brother, I know that there was no criminal accountability for what happened to Jacob Jr. There was no criminal accountability. Was there any civil accountability to what happened to him?
As far as, go ahead, Jake.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, as far as we know, brother, he was unable to secure a civil or legal, ramifications of what happened to him due to the fact that that's the way this law is set up in this man's land. That so often, African Americans have been made the point of contention, and when you go to seek, some justice in this system, it's not to be had. It's made to seem like the person who was a victim was the one who initiated the what happened in the first place, which is so far from the truth. It just bothered you deeply, as you can see the brothers and sisters that got shot up in Minnesota. They were made to seem as though they were victims. And these are Caucasian people. These are white people. So they're starting to realize the realization that what black people have gone through for 200, 300, 400 years in America, which is the brutal attack of this government's police force found upon our head and the top of our neck, is happening to them as well.
It's brother. To piggyback off of that, it's the spin that they decide to put on the person who is dealing with these situations. They spin it to make it see that if the white people wouldn't have seen it with their own eyes in Minnesota, they would still just be thinking we're talking. We're just mad. No, it's reality, man. It's reality that these police officers go above and beyond their restraints because they can. Look at Sonia Massey. She was in her kitchen.
Right.
Eric Gardner, they tried to tell us that wasn't a chokehold. Oh, that was a chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Tamir Rice.
Yeah.
Was playing cops and robbers in the park.
Right.
Where you're supposed to be safe.
Right.
The officers started shooting at that little boy before the car had come to a complete halt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The brother in Kansas City, Cameron Lamb. I sat there with that family in the courtroom, and this officer not only murdered their son, he planted evidence, he forced the other officers to lie that were there. He got convicted of all that, and then the pardon came from the governor of the state of Missouri. So don't tell me that there's not two systems of justice in the United KKK of America.
Mm-hmm.
There's two systems. There's a system for them white people, and then there's just us. There's no justice. There's just us.
Yeah. I like I said early on, there are so many cases, and it's heartbreaking, really, when you see case after case after case where
Case after case.
where injustice is magnified by the way that injustice under the color of law is negotiated. It's heartbreaking. But one of the things that I am taking note of in against the backdrop of what we're seeing now, what we're witnessing now, is that there, these militarized police, and that's what they are. This is a form of policing in America that reminds me of what has been taking place, way over there in occupied Palestine. In fact, when I see the way that ICE and the Border Patrol agents have been moving about in the cities, especially in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm reminded of the fact that there are significant numbers of police units that go over to the state of Israel for training. And the way that I see them behaving on the streets of our cities reminds me of what has been going on for years and years and years on the streets and in the alleyways and the villages of occupied Palestine on the West Bank. And the world has been witnessing the devastation in genocide. The devastating genocide in Gaza. So it's all connected, and it's something that should cause those of us who are concerned about the better of the two. I often think about the book that Senator J. William Fulbright wrote and published years ago, entitled "The Arrogance of Power," where he described two Americas. One the America that can be spelled with the C, and then the other that's spelled with the 3 Ks. And the one that we have been seeing, that we have experienced much too often, is the one with the 3 Ks. But where are you brothers now? Where are you living, Jacob, and where are you living, Justin? And what are you seeing on the streets? What are you seeing?
Well, I'm in between Racine, Wisconsin, and Chicago. Okay. And Milwaukee just took police had a big hearing regarding a black police officer that went over to Gaza to train. And that brings about so much, what can you say to that? A black police officer going over to Gaza to train is just a mouthpiece in itself. If you look back and you go back to slavery, you'll realize that John Lynch, Johnny Lynch went around to many different countries to facilitate how to handle Africans and what to do and all of that. This is the same thing happening. It's the same ridiculous stuff happening, that they go around and see all these different police. So they ultimately all act alike. The same dramatization that the Palestinians go through, we go through as black people and been going through. And now white people are getting to experience it. They come into your house illegally. They do that in Gaza. They beat you down and there's no repercussion. They do that in Gaza. They shoot you in your face or shoot you 10 times as you lie on the ground. And they do that in Gaza as well and receive no justice whatsoever for the family or the community. So it's really disheartening to know that this is traveling around this world, and it's done in such just outright done over. What you say? They used to do everything covertly. Now they're doing it overtly, and that it's okay because all our brothers and sisters, Native Americans, Asians, and Europeans at this point understand who we are and what we must do to overcome this. You must challenge it at every door you open, every hand you shake, and every conversation you're in. You can never allow this to rest again. All our civil rights and liberties depend upon it. And those brothers and sisters in Minnesota should get applause from everybody in the United States because they've held it down and told them to take this ruthless government's enforcers and remove them from Minnesota, of which they're doing it. So it worked in Chicago, it worked in Minnesota. All you have to do is stand up. All you have to do is stand up.
Yeah, it's go ahead, brother Jacob. Go ahead.
I'm in North Carolina. I'm on the East Coast, enjoying this 8 inches of snow we just got, mashallah.
North Carolina, yes.
But I'm constantly rotating all over the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I may be in California, I may be in Minnesota, I may be in Kansas, I could be in Florida, I can be everywhere. But back to what my brother was saying, racism, see, is the key. Like what is that, Mubarak that was the president of Egypt?
Yes.
Mubarak said that the Jews went away black and came back white. So the whitewashing of this whole thing has been whitewashed. You know, where they're trying, they say you're anti-Semitic. Well, the Semites were brown. So how can we be anti something that we come from? But they'll make you want to hate they make you want to hate yourself and hate who you are. But you have to stand up for who you are. You have to stand and have no fear. As we stood up against the Quraysh with farming tools, they had swords and we had rakes and hoes. You understand? We're out. In mentally, you have to defeat them. You cannot allow them to force their will on you. And like my brother said, them people in Minnesota, man, the Chicago people and Minnesota people, man, we get them out of there. Get them out of there. They want them out of there. You understand? And now that is affecting the Caucasianites. The Caucasians they didn't feel nothing for Eric Gardner. They didn't feel nothing for Trayvon Martin. They didn't feel nothing for George Floyd. They didn't feel nothing for Breonna Taylor. They didn't feel nothing for Sonia Massey. You understand what I'm saying? But when it affects them, now they have some type of empathy and require our sympathy and our empathy but we stand with I almost cussed, brother. We stand with them. No matter how they distance themselves from us, we stand with them.
Okay, but however, the reality is I'm seeing it a bit more optimistically than you are, my brother, because the reality is the reason why those two good-hearted deeply concerned Caucasian brothers and sisters ended up being killed is because they were out on the front line.
Yeah,
They were out
Somali.
on the front line pushing back.
You misunderstood what I was saying, brother.
Go ahead.
I was not saying that we're not supposed to. I'm not saying that at all, because they were definitely out there, boots
They were
on
out
the
there.
ground. They
Yeah.
were out there, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, the support needs to be equal.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a cry out for the two people in Minnesota and no cry out for Eric Gardner.
Yeah, you mean the communal concern. The concern needs to be equal. Yes.
The communal response
Yes.
needs to be equal.
Yes. I agree.
Because we are human beings, brother. We are a part of humanity, brother. We can't be looked at as us and them.
Yeah, but in our and not defense of them, but the reason and the purpose, you're talking about a 90% white population of Minnesota, so they're standing up for Hispanics and for Somalians, and they're coming out tremendous. 50,000 were out the other night. So
yeah, but see, you're not understanding.
I get what you're saying, brother.
What I'm saying, brother, I'm not mad at what they're doing now. I'm not dismissing what they're doing now. I'm saying that there should be an equal response to every situation, man. That ICE, you don't even hear them speak on Keith Porter.
Yeah.
Keith Porter was killed first.
In New York, yeah.
No, he was in California.
Was it California?
But they have no. It's like that didn't even happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm not understanding. I'm trying to understand, but I'm not understanding why, when it's a brown body, there's a different reaction than when it's a white body.
It gets back to the devaluation.
Correct.
Of black life. Black life, brown life.
Correct.
One of the things that everyone who is paying attention can easily take note of is the fact that there are no immigration surges, patrols, and violations of homes and cars and human beings walking on the streets of Caucasian folk,
right?
Of immigrants from Poland and from Germany and some of the other European countries. There is no violation.
Trust me, they exist. Trust me, that exists.
Oh yeah, there are predominantly white enclaves in many of those cities. In fact, most of the cities, and within those enclaves, there are folk who have overstayed their visas. They are, quote unquote, according to the law, illegal, quote unquote. I don't like using that for human beings, but according to the laws of this land, they are considered illegal, but they are not the ones that are being hunted down. It's just black folk, brown folk, and that tells us what this is really all about. It's a white supremacist agenda coming from the most powerful political office in the land. And so it's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Go ahead.
Absolutely, positively shameful.
To bring in African, you talk about Africans, to bring in South Africans who are white and who have done nothing but destroy South Africa for the greater part. The few that are participating in a healthy manner may have it. God bless them. But the devastation that was put upon by Europeans, and for them to be allowed into the United States when we're doing all this booting out and kicking out and looking for people to put out, is a stretch by anybody's imagination, brother.
But it's not a stretch. It's the reality of the animal of racism.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a stretch. None of this is a stretch, brother. It's the reality. And if we refuse to deal with the reality, and the reality is they hate us for the way we look. There's no justification for their hatred other than they are scared of what they do not know.
Yeah, it's racism is a cancer. It's a blight.
Yes, wallah.
On the heart and mind, and it's a negation of the fact that we are all bound together as human beings that all come from one source. I mean, every human being, this is a point that I sometimes make when I am discussing these kinds of heartbreaking issues. The fact of the matter is that every human being on this planet is related to every other human being on the planet.
Speak, brother.
And, it's sad. And it's also dangerous that we have people in power who don't realize this fact, who don't accept this fact, who see the different races, the different tribes as coming from completely different sources, not connected in any way whatsoever. And on the basis of that inability to see the common thread, they're capable of following, the most animalistic,
barbaric,
most barbaric, yes, tendencies that we have within us as human beings. I mean, it's really sad. But my brothers, it's been a while since I last had the two of you on for discussion. I'm glad to have you on today. And now that we're nearing the end of this segment, and I knew that it would go quickly, I want to invite both of you to share whatever thought you would like to share with with this international audience that you have. This is coming from out of Johannesburg, South Africa, but we have an international audience through the wonders of modern day technology that have tuned in to this broadcast, and others will see it later. What message would you like to leave those who either hear or see this broadcast on this very, very important and it's very important topic?
Well, I go first since I'm the younger brother. Look, bro, it's no time like now to stand up.
Yes.
For those who are Martin Luther King's age or, came along in that genre and they can no longer march, pick up the phone and call. For those younger brothers, march out of school. March out of school and let them know that the time is now, that you must be trained and ready to go for tomorrow. We have to be leaders. We're ready to flip this over and turn into a new, they called it the New World Order, but they didn't have no idea what they said, because once they started this quote unquote New World Order, the people are not going for it. So we have to make ready our leaders. We have to stop the pettiness. We have to stop the backbiting. We have to stop all the stabbing in the back. We must be prepared to be the best people that we can be in order for us to succeed. Because like in America, going forward, Black, Hispanic, Asian, you name it, we're no longer the minority, brother. We will soon be We never really truly were the minority, but we will certainly not be the minority coming forward in 3 years. We need to be getting ready. We need to be gainful. We need to stop being employed and be employers. We must stop being renters and own. We have to find about getting about the business of the day. So to all the brothers and sisters, as far reaching as my voice can hear, be prepared to stand up. All power to the people, RBG. Let's go.
All right. Brother Jacob, your final thoughts, brother.
We have to have no fear.
No fear.
No fear. The young and the old must stand together. We must drop these lines of separation and understand that we are all human. No matter how you praise the Creator, no matter what you call yourself, we are all one. And like you said earlier, brother, we're all related.
Mm-hmm. That's
we
right.
are all related, and we cannot fear to stand up against this racist society.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's my last chance to say something, we have an aunt and an uncle in South Africa, and I would like to say hello to them. My aunt Marina Maponya and David Maponya, my uncle. And if the Maponyas ever want to reach out to us, Jacob Blake #9 on Instagram and Jacob Blake on Facebook. Please feel free. The Maponya family, I love you all and miss you all.
Well, thank you. I want to thank both of you brothers for joining us today.
Shukran, brother.
For this conversation. Inshallah ta'ala, we will have you back
inshallah
soon, inshallah ta'ala. But until then, may Allah ta'ala bless the rest of this day and the days going forward, inshallah ta'ala.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Brother Saalakhan, let's go to our second commercial, and then we will come back with our closing guests on the other side, inshallah.
For the first time, I can dream again.
The Africa Muslims Agency Orphan Hope Program provides the food, clothing, and basic support needed by thousands of children across the world. Every child deserves a chance at a hopeful future.
For 15,000 trams, you can transform our lives with the AMA Orphan Hope Program.
Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al-Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al-Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al-Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27 33 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, our topic for today It's titled "The Ongoing Challenge for Police Reform in America." And given the topic of focus for today, I wanted to have right back with us again a good friend that we just recently had on. But before we bring him on, there's a piece of video that I'd like for you to see that will enrich the perspective that our brother is going to share. Let's see that video, Brother Sadiq.
There's blame at all levels here. Okay, the bosses, Kristi Noem, chief among them, got caught lying about what happened, right? He did not brandish a firearm. He was not a would-be assassin. It's really hard to recover your credibility when you're caught in a stone-cold lie like that. Now, look, I've worked with cops my whole career as a prosecutor, state and federal. I was in charge of supervising state police, feds, whatever. What you're seeing on the ground from these DHS officers, many of whom are Border Patrol people, as you note, Abby, is not high-level policing. And I'll just give you one example. I think what you're going to hear out of this investigation is the reason that we decided that lethal force was necessary because we saw he had a firearm in his waistband, right? It looks like in the back. Do you know how many NYPD officers stop somebody every day in this city who's got a firearm on them, sometimes illegally? That does not open up the floodgates to shoot that person, right? It happens all day long. Good cops, experienced patrol cops, New Jersey State Police, NYPD, FBI, DEA, they don't just open fire when someone's got a weapon in their jacket, in their waistband, in their pocket. You need more than that. You need an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. And so the level of street-level policing we're seeing from these folks is badly deficient.
They are not trained to do street-level policing.
Exactly.
And to your point, dozens of guns were recovered by Minneapolis police last year. They didn't kill a single one of the people carrying those weapons. So there's a training issue here.
Indeed. Now, without any further ado, let's bring our good brother Ron Hampton back on screen. He is the former one of the principal founders of the National Black Police Association. He's a retired police officer, I think after 23 years, if it was, and he's just a solid brother who has very unique insight and expertise around the topic that we are discussing today. What are your thoughts, Brother Ron, on what you heard from the two Blake brothers that were with us earlier? I don't know if you were aware of that case. Yeah, you were aware of the case involving the son, the nephew of the two brothers. I mean, subhanAllah, being shot in the back the way that he was, and that officer was not held accountable for what he did, and all of the other stuff that's going on. What are your thoughts, Aki? You unmute yourself.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Good afternoon to you and your audience and those people who are watching. Let me start by saying this. Some time ago, we've been working on this issue now for the last, probably, I would say somewhere between 10, 12, 13 years. And there's a brother named David Harris. He was the managing director, one of the managing directors of the Hamilton Houston Center for Race and Justice at Harvard University under who's now Charles Ogletree. And David was a member of these sessions that we were having. There was about 35, 40 of us sitting around talking because we decided we wanted to come together and have a conversation, because there's a term that we use sometime, and I think the term is, I don't agree with it. It says that, we're preaching to the choir, and I take that to mean that we're talking to people who are like minded. We're all on the same page. And the fact of the matter is we're not all on the same page. The conversation that the brothers were having, to me, was a symptomatic of that. But David brought all of us to understand one thing. And what he said it's a quote by Audre Lorde, Lorde. And the quote is that you will not deconstruct the master's house with the master's tools. And the reform is one of the tools that the belong to the master. I don't even like to use the word reform no more, because the criminal justice system needs to be deconstructed and reconstructed, and then designed in a way to benefit people like African American and other people of color. The criminal justice system, as we see it now and have seen it for the last 80 years, I'm over 80 years old, it's doing exactly what it's designed to do. Those guys out there in the street, those ICE people are doing exactly what it is that they were designed to do. And the ICE man, the orange man is the one who pulls the strings and tells them what to do. It's not that boy who was in Minneapolis that went back to the border. He might have been in charge, but he wasn't in control. There's a difference. And there's a policy in this country that lays out what it is that they should be doing. Like the guy on the tape that you just got through showing made it, and people need to listen to that and take some of that stuff to heart. Police take guns off the street every day and don't nobody get shot and killed. And so why is that? Why is it that they can take guns off the street, but these clowns, these goons that work for the orange man, if they see a gun, they're going to shoot and kill, because that's what they're designed to do. Reform, again, is something that has not taken place. I know you remember Rodney King. Mm-hmm. There was even a shooting that took place in LA before Rodney King, was Eleanor Bumpers, where police had went to her door to make an arrest and they ended up shooting her. This was a senior citizen. She didn't have a gun. Eleanor Bumpers, Rodney King. But to make a point, if you look at Rodney King and come forward to George Floyd, and we'll use the word reform for the purpose of this conversation, what has changed? As a matter of fact, during the week of Rodney King's killing, not Rodney King, but George Floyd's killing, there were other killings and abuses that took place. Because that's the policy, that's the culture of law enforcement. And if you don't change that, you're not going to change anything. Those 23 years, 24 years that I spent with the Metropolitan Police Department, we started the National Black Police Association chapter here in Washington, D.C. Shortly after I went to the job. There were things that we were able to do here in Washington, D.C. that do not exist today. Do you hear me, my brother? They do not exist today.
Wait a minute. Say that again. There were things that you did back then, you said, that improved the situation that do not exist today?
That do not exist
in Washington, D.C.
In Washington, D.C. And wow. it was because when, to be honest, when you have a situation, let's take when you have a situation and you're trying to change some policies and practices, all of that takes place at a really superficial, topical level. So we were able to change it. And what helped us change it was that we had Black chiefs of police. Bertel Jefferson was appointed chief of police in 1978. He served for 4 years. After he served, Maurice Turner was Black. He served for 4 years. After that, Ike Turner, who was Black, served for 4 years. We were able to do some things in those 16 years that had never, ever been done in the Metropolitan Police Department. The white boys and the police unions were standing on the side waiting till that was over with so they could bring back the kind of stuff that they want and are happening in this city right now. I served on the DC Police Reform Commission for 19 months. We came away with 93 recommendations that went to the council, and most of them was turned into legislation. And there are legislative rules or laws in this city right now, which, because of how this city is operated, we're a home rule rather than a state. The Congress, which is controlled by Republicans, and the Orange Man and them are trying to repeal the changes that we made in reference to that came from the Reform Commission. And so those are the kind of things that happen. I tell you one thing, I said it then and I continue to say it. When a situation that, like the George Floyd situation happened, the window for change is only cracked. and you're able to get in some small amount of things that will impact what it is that happens as it relates to public safety. If you don't take advantage of that crack, then it's going to be business as usual, because there are even some traditional police organizations that they will say that they for change, and in their hearts of hearts they probably are, but the change that they're for is tinkling around the edges of the institution. It's not about going down deep, dealing with the culture of the institution or the policies and practices of the institution, because people have vested interest in that process. And so we're not going to see those changes. The reason why the George Floyd murder, because that's what it was so appalling to people was not only was it because it was on camera, but the way that boy had his foot on that boy's neck and would not let up, wouldn't do anything, even though he was hollering and he was screaming. And then there were people on the sidewalk that was also talking to him and telling him to let the man up, but he refused to do it. So there were people who were appalled, insensitive to that picture of what it was that he was doing, and it probably brought back a lot of painful memories in reference to this white man standing there with his foot on this black man's neck and wouldn't get up. The fact of the matter is that some of them same people, before this is all over with, some of them same people who thought that was appalling will be in support of what those ICE goons are doing across this country, because sometimes law enforcement has a short memory. And that's why it's difficult to talk about change. It's difficult to talk about what real public safety should look like. The reality is, to me, is that public safety something that should be involved, where the community and residents of a given community or neighborhood is involved in it, more so have a vested interest in those in policing, because they live in those communities. Most of the time, law enforcement people don't live in our community. They live somewhere else. So if we're not willing to stand up and take the helm in terms of this process, and not only is change something that should take place on the inside, but also change has to be accepted and part of the plan for outside too. And so it's always going to be difficult in this environment. And we had 3 more years of this, of the Orange Man. And myself, I just think, as a cautionary note, we really need to be paying attention to what these ICE goons are doing, what they're doing, how they're going about doing it, because it has the potential to spill over into municipal policing. Because if the municipal police people see that these guys can do that and get away with it, what are they going to do? Because, see, they've been standing back watching anyway. The only thing that's stopping them from doing is the rules and regulations that we have as it relates to what you can do and not do because of the training. The training does not allow you, nor does it teach you to do those kind of things. But all of a sudden, if you get out there on the street and you working with ICE and you see them do it, what is your response to you seeing ICE as a police officer? What's your response to ICE mistreating somebody in the community? What we really should be doing is that, as a police officer, if you see ICE mistreat someone, then you can place them under arrest, because that's a crime that's committed in the presence of a police officer. But are we going to do that?
Especially in a situation where the federales, as our Spanish-speaking brothers would refer to them, ICE and Border Patrol, they greatly outnumber the local police. Right. I mean, like Minnesota, an estimated 3,000 federal agents, greatly outnumbering all of the local jurisdiction police departments combined, greatly outnumbering them. And
that's exactly right. I heard a situation the other day. There's a town that's on the outskirts of Minneapolis, and there's a white chief of police there, and he has some black officers that work for him. And ICE has been profiling those black officers, even pulled a gun on one of them. and they've been stopping them traffic stops and all of that. So the chief of police decided he's going to have a press conference to talk about what ICE is doing to his men. But in his first sentence of his press statement, he says that he's not for getting rid of ICE. But what he wants to bring to the attention is what ICE was doing to the black officers that they were stopping. I want to suggest to you, my brother, you can't have both.
Right, right.
Either you got to have somebody who's going to respect the law and the people who are there to do it, or you're gonna have somebody who's gonna run Rothschild over everything that they want to do, and that's what they're doing there.
Indeed. My brother, I want to thank you for coming back on short notice. I reached out to you, I think it was yesterday, to say we want to have you back on and just provide a little capsulized view of what was said and the topic itself. And I just want you to know, brother, I appreciate you, Ron Hampton. And inshallah ta'ala, we're going to have you back again.
Thank you very much, my brother. Appreciate it.
May Allah bless the rest of you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We are going to conclude today's broadcast with a very, very important announcement. This coming weekend is going to be a very busy weekend. A lot of important stuff is going to be going on in the Richmond, Virginia area. I will, as this will be the first Friday of the month, I am going to be back at Masjid Bilal in Richmond, Virginia, to deliver the Jummah khutbah next Friday, this coming Friday, I should say. And after the Jummah, beginning at 4 p.m., it's going to go from 4 to 8:30. There's going to be a special event. You can see the poster there. It's going to be something really special. We are having and this is in the spirit both of Ramadan and in the spirit of Black History Month. Pre-Ramadan Readers Symposium. You know, we want to talk about, have discussions about, and emphasize the importance of reading. And we're going to have books there. We're going to have a number of speakers who are going to be sharing their, what are their favorite books that they've read over the years, and just some very healthy discourse around the issue of books and reading, how important it is, especially in this age when we often spend far too much time on these electronic screens. A pre-Ramadan reader symposium from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Next Friday on the day of Jummah. And then on Sunday, also in Richmond, Virginia, there's going before I leave Friday, there's going to be a marketplace, a bazaar at the that's also connected with the Reader Symposium on Friday. So it's just going to be a fun time and an intellectually stimulating time. But then on Sunday, there's going to be a very special event that will be hosted. It's organized and hosted by United Muslim Americans of Richmond, Virginia. Again, United Muslim Americans of Richmond, Virginia. They will be hosting an event at VCU Commons, the VCU Commons building, from 1 to 4 p.m. And this is open to anyone who is interested in attending. And no doubt it's going to be a thought-provoking event. It's under the theme Community Vision, Family Focus, and Ramadan. Community Vision, Family Focus, and Ramadan Reflections. This is the theme of the event. On that note, We want to thank you for joining us, and we close out as we normally do. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wal Asr. Innal insana lafi kusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amalu salihati. Wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Which means, in the translation of the meaning, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by the token of time through the ages, surely humanity is in loss, except those who believe and do good, and exhort one another to truth, and exhort one another to patiently persevere. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum.